I still remember that call. Her voice cracked, like I had betrayed her. "Why haven't you paid the rent this month?" she demanded. I froze, then let out a laugh, not because it was funny, but because I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The apartment she was talking about wasn't even mine anymore. It belonged to my brother now. He and his wife had moved in the second I walked out, but she wasn't calling him. She was calling me. Funny thing is, when she first asked me to fix up that old apartment, I didn't think twice. I threw myself into it. My weekends, my savings, my sweat. I painted the walls, installed new cabinets, even fixed the faulty wiring she had ignored for years. When it was finally done, she looked at the place with pride, and for one fleeting moment, I felt like a son who had finally made his mother proud. Then came the contract. I thought I'd be living there. She promised me a fair rent, a chance to save money, and stay close to home. But when the papers hit the table, the rent was triple what we'd agreed on. Triple. I stared at her across the kitchen island I had installed with my own hands, the polished granite shining like a cruel reflection of my own stupidity. "This isn't what we agreed to," I said. Her reply was ice cold. "If you can't afford it, someone else can." That was the moment I learned the truth. When money's involved, family doesn't always act like family. So, I left quietly. No fight, no tears. Just a packed bag and a lease signed across town. A smaller place, yes, but it was mine. Paid with my money, not dangled in front of me like bait on her hook. And I didn't have to wait long to find out who she meant by someone else. Within a week, my brother and his wife moved in. Of course, the golden boy, the one who always got more, needed less, and somehow demanded everything anyway. I thought I was finally free, but freedom has a way of testing you. A month later, the phone rang again. Her voice was sharp, almost shaking. "Where's the rent? Why haven't you paid?" I nearly choked. "Rent? For that apartment?" "Yes," she snapped. "Your brother says he's still waiting on you. We had an agreement." And that's when it hit me. She hadn't just rented the place to him. She had put my name down as the tenant, on paper at least, without my signature, without my consent, without me even living there. And now she was dumping the responsibility on me, my name, my credit, my life. The betrayal was almost impressive in its cruelty, but I didn't scream. I didn't lose it. Instead, I smiled because I realized something. She still thought I was the same gullible son who rebuilt her kitchen for free. She had no idea who she'd created the moment she tried to scam me. So, I made my move. Calmly, I asked her to send me the agreement. The papers she claimed bound me. Within the hour, she emailed a poorly scanned contract. My name was typed in, but there was no signature, no initials, nothing legal. I laughed under my breath. A forgery with no teeth. The next day, I went straight to the real landlord, the actual owner of the building. And guess what? My mother wasn't even the legal owner anymore. She'd been renting it herself, then subletting to me, and now to my brother. I explained everything, showed the documents, and pointed out the missing signature. The landlord wasn't angry at me. He was furious with her. Turns out she'd been skimming off him too. That's when I laid out my plan. I wouldn't fight her directly. Real revenge doesn't shout. It's quiet, cold. All I had to do was step aside and let the dominoes fall. And they did. The landlord revoked her sublease rights and demanded back rent. Suddenly, she owed thousands she thought she could squeeze out of me. And just like that, my brother, the golden boy, was living in an apartment that was never hers to give. Within weeks, eviction papers showed up at their door. Then came the call I'll never forget. Her voice wasn't sharp this time. It was broken, raw from crying. "They're throwing us out. Your brother has nowhere to go. What did you do?" I let the silence stretch, let her sit in the mess she had built. Then finally, I gave her the same words she once gave me. "If you can't afford it, someone else can." The fallout was exactly what I expected. My brother turned on her. She blamed me. His wife blamed everyone. They tore into each other like rats fighting in a sinking ship. And me? I stayed in my little apartment, paid for, no strings, no lies. Funny, isn't it? I rebuilt her place with my own hands, but in the end, I rebuilt myself too. Stronger, colder, smarter. I stopped playing the fool. She wanted a tenant. What she got was a lesson. And now, when her name flashes on my phone, I don't pick up. Because some debts, once settled, don't need to be revisited. Justice doesn't always roar. Sometimes, it whispers. And in my world, it sounds like silence on the other end of the line.